Welcome to the Crawcast. I'm your host, George Krawczak, and these are my predictions for Week 10 of the NFL season. The first game is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to win. The reason why I'm predicting the Bengals is because both these teams are pretty good teams and they're division rivals, so it will probably be close. And both defenses have been struggling quite a bit throughout the season, and they've been carried by their offenses, with Joe Burrow looking great and then Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry looking great. I think it's going to be the Bengals just because I think the Bengals defense is better than the Ravens defense, even though the Ravens do have a slightly better offense. I just think the overall, though, the Bengals are going to win this one. The next game is the New York Giants versus the Carolina Panthers. I think the Giants are going to win. This game is tough to predict just because both of these teams are so unbelievably terrible. And I think the Giants are going to win because they do have a pretty good defense. Tyrone Tracy does look really good. It's Malik Neighbors looks decent. It's just Daniel Jones that's holding them back quite a bit. And I think Bryce Young is starting to look better and turning a corner quite a bit. I just think overall the Giants are just a better team. The next game is the New England Patriots versus the Chicago Bears. I think the Patriots are going to win. Drake May has looked pretty good so far. Their offensive line has struggled quite a bit, and they're basically their only defensive player is Christian Gonzalez. Caleb Williams has struggled quite a lot, and his offensive line really hasn't been doing him any favors. I think, again, with the previous matchup, both these teams are terrible, so I think it will be a close game and really could go either way. But just overall, I think the Patriots are going to win because they do seem like are looking really bright right now, and I just think they'll continue that streak. The next game is the Washington Commanders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Commanders are going to win. It is interesting because the Commanders just got Marshawn Lattimore and the Steelers did just get Mike Williams. But overall, the Commanders are just on a roll. Jaden Daniels looks great. Their defense looks really good, and they just add Lattimore. Although I think he's on the decline, Lattimore is still a really good cornerback. And I just think it's going to be tough for the Steelers to win. This will be a really good matchup because both these teams are really good, and the Steelers especially have a really good defense. But overall, I think the Commanders are just the better team. The next game is the Buffalo Bills versus the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts are going to win. This should be an exciting game. Although Joe Flacco did not play well against Minnesota last week, Minnesota's defense has been giving almost every quarterback problems. So I think that trend kind of continued with him. As far as Buffalo's defense has been struggling quite a bit. Their offense is looking good with Josh Allen and Amari Cooper, even though Amari Cooper didn't play last week, and Keon Coleman and James Cook with Ray Davis. Overall, I just think the Colts are a great team, and I think Joe Flacco is really going to turn it around and play well this week. So overall, I think the Colts are going to win, although this will be a good matchup. A lot of these games are really good matchups, and I think are going to be really close and hard to predict. The next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to win. This one is the Jaguars are struggling a lot. Trevor Lawrence has been struggling quite a bit, and I just don't see anything changing, to be honest with you. Minnesota's defense is looking really good. Sam Darnold has been struggling quite a bit and has been taking a little bit of a downturn, but overall, I just think the Vikings are really looking good, and the Jaguars are struggling mightily, and I just don't see anything changing from that this week. The next game is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. The I think the Chiefs are going to win, although I think this is going to be closer than a lot more people expect. The Chiefs' offense has been looking pretty decent, and their defense has looked great. But Denver's defense has looked great, and their offense has been kind of average. Although their defense did struggle against the Ravens' offense, but the Ravens have probably the best offense, if not the best offense in the NFL. Overall, I think this will be a close game. I think this will be a good game, and I just think the Chiefs are going to win. DeAndre Hopkins is looking great. Patrick Mahomes finally had a good game last week, and so their offense has been coming along, and their defense has been great all season. The next game is the Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. I think the Falcons are going to win, although I think this game will be really close. It's a divisional matchup. Almost all the divisional matchups have been really close, and the Falcons are a really good team, and just it feels like the Saints have given up. They traded Marshawn Lattimore. They've been struggling. They started out really good, and then Derek Carr got injured, and they've just been terrible since. But I think this will be a really close game. I just give the edge to the Falcons because they are a better team. And Kirk Cousins has been playing great. Bijan Robinson's been playing great, and their offense has really turned it around and found their identity and kind of been great. The next game is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the San Francisco 49ers. It's another one that I think will be really close, but I think the 49ers are going to win. Ricky Pearsall's going to be their wide receiver number one, it looks like. I think Deebo Samuel may or may not play. Actually, I don't think he will play, but Brock Purdy is looking good. Their defense has been really good, although Chardavius Ward has stepped away from the team to mourn the loss of his 1-year-old son. Hopefully he's okay and will turn out, better than ever and look good. Just a bad situation. Hopefully, again, he's going to be doing okay. So overall, I think the 49ers are a better team, although I think this will be really close. The Buccaneers did look great against the Chiefs. They just barely lost and probably should have won that game. And I just think the 49ers are going to be better, especially if the Buccaneers having offensive line troubles. I think Nick Bosa will do really great in this game. The next game is the LA Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. I think the Chargers are going to win. The Titans just really haven't looked that good. Their defense has been decent, and Tony Pollard has looked great, but Mason Rudolph isn't the answer and hasn't looked good, and Will Levis hasn't looked good either. And the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins has looked really great. Their passing game is now starting to get better, and I just think the Chargers seem like they're on the up and up, and their defense has improved quite a bit. The next game is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys, and this I think going to be the first real upset. I think the Cowboys are going to win. Yes, Dak is injured. Yes, CeeDee Lamb is injured. It's kind of one of those gut feeling games where I just think the Cowboys are going to win with Cooper Rush. It's really shocking that they're starting Cooper Rush because I think Trey Lance, at least see if you have something in Trey Lance and can maybe get something for him in a trade later down the line, whereas Cooper Rush clearly is not anyone's franchise quarterback. And overall, just I just think the Eagles are going to blow it, plain and simple. This is one of those where it's just a gut feeling kind of thing, but overall I think the Cowboys are going to win. Again, it doesn't really logically make sense. It's just a gut feeling that I think will happen. The next game is the New York Jets versus the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Jets are going to win. The Jets did look really good last week, and they are looking better. Hassan Reddick is coming back into the defense and looked pretty decent. And the Cardinals, Kyler Murray struggled quite a bit, but their defense looked really good. And I just think this game kind of means a lot more to the Jets because they are fighting for their season. If Arizona loses this game, they're still going to be close to the top of their division because their division's so bad, whereas the Jets need this win. And it's going to be very interesting to see if the Jets can pull it out. The next game is the Houston Texans versus the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are going to win. The Detroit Lions offense is probably the best offense in the NFL compared to the Ravens, and they are just really good. I think they're going to kind of destroy this Houston Texans defense, which has been struggling quite a bit. And then Texans offense has been looking horrible. Their offensive line has been terrible. C.J. Stroud has been struggling quite a bit, and I think with the addition of Za'Darius Smith, although I do think he's over the hill and not that great, he was the only option available and probably the best option available for the Lions at this point. And their edge rushers have been getting zero pressure whatsoever. And at least with Za'Darius Smith, he can probably do something. And that's kind of all the Lions want and need from him. So I think the Lions are going to win, and I think this has a shot at being a blowout. I truly believe that. The final game of the week is the Miami Dolphins versus the LA Rams. And this one I struggled with quite a bit, but the Rams offense has looked really good, and their defense has been struggling a little bit. And the Dolphins are also kind of similar in the sense that when Tua came back, their offense has been really good, but their defense has struggled quite a bit. I just think the Rams are going to win because their passing attack's really good, and I think they are overall a much better team than the Dolphins right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, and I'll see you on the next one.